Right now at 6, Ascension Hospital System opens an investigation into a possible cyber attack.
And our day looking pretty good out there once again. We've got a nice sunrise this morning. It is going to be a pretty decent day. We'll have a look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, the city of Caney, Kansas lifts its water restrictions after months of issues.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6 a.m. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is Friday. We've made it through the week.
Yes, we have.
Boy,
it's been a busy week.
My
crazy
goodness, the last couple of weeks. Over the last 12 days, a number of severe weather events. And that's the other thing is we get the periodic severe weather. We get some damaging winds or, lots of lightning, heavy rain. We have had significant severe weather over the last several days. I remember I was talking with my kids about this just the other day. Yeah. In my entire time in school, we had to take shelter once. And it wasn't even for a tornado warned storm.
Okay.
Only once, because we had a pretty nasty storm come through in the morning. They just this year have been in the shelters 2 or 3 times already.
Oh my goodness.
It's just been wild. Now, thankfully, we're considerably calmer. We're going to stay that way for the next couple of days as well. Let's look outside. This is the camera on top of the Cornell complex, and it is looking at downtown Joplin. You can see we've got clear skies. The sun is shining. It looks wonderful. And as we take a look at the MoDOT camera, 32nd and range line, another great view of the sunrise out there. A nice start to the day. Temperatures not too shabby either. We're still all holding into the 50s at this point, but you can see Iola getting a little closer to the upper 40s, but otherwise 50s across the board as we get our day underway. Kids getting on the bus, about 53. North breeze 5 to 10, mostly clear skies, and we'll have mostly clear to partly cloudy skies this afternoon. Bit breezy, north winds occasionally gusting to 25, 73 when the bus brings them back home. We are looking at highs into the low to maybe mid 70s out there. So again, for some of us, we're going to be maybe a degree or 2 cooler than yesterday. Again, mostly clear to partly cloudy skies, or what the official term is variable clouds, and we'll have that occasional north wind gusting around 20 miles an hour. Unfortunately, again, we do have thunderstorm chances returning to our forecast as early as Sunday night. And we'll look at all those details in the full forecast here a little later. Elise?
Chris, thanks. Well, 4 staters are again cleaning up storm damage, this time in Lawrence County, Missouri, after a tornado tore through that area Wednesday afternoon. KOAM's Anthony Saviello has the latest from the Monette area.
As you can see behind me, part of the roof on this house is stripped away. Trees and branches are down, scattered all over yards. There are uprooted trees. The pavement itself is destroyed because of the trees that have fallen down. I spoke with one gentleman who said he saw the storms roll in and quickly realized the need to get inside and get into cover.
House and the wind got really high, and we heard stuff hitting the house, and just a minute it was gone, and came out and trees blown over everywhere.
Kevin Davis, along with many of his neighbors, took on the full force of Wednesday's tornado in Lawrence County. Now they are left to clean up the damage the storm left behind, but he's not alone.
It's amazing the people that volunteer to come and help us clean up, and fortunately me and my neighbors, they've got farm tractors, and I've got backhoes, and we've got the equipment to do most of it ourselves, and we work together, and that's what brings us out of it, and that way it's not real hard on anybody.
Davis says that he and his wife were at home with their grandson, all of them safe and accounted for. One family in this neighborhood took shelter in their basement as the tornado destroyed their barn. Though the damage is extensive, the people here made it through unscathed.
Yeah, it's a good feeling. If you don't lose, you or any of your family, you've got it made.
Absolutely. People out here have been working tirelessly all day, cleaning up damage, picking up debris, working together, working with each other to do their best to get back to something close to normal. Reporting in Lawrence County, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
And Davis says fire crews and Liberty Electric worked overnight to clear roads throughout the county and restore power. Don't forget, you can be the first to know about the day's weather with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. You can get severe weather updates sent straight to your phone free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Missouri Governor Mike Parson yesterday signed into law a bill prohibiting public funds to abortion providers. While public money is already prohibited from funding abortions in Missouri, this new law will now prevent any taxpayer money, such as Medicaid, from going to any abortion providers or their affiliates in the state for any purpose. In a statement, Planned Parenthood calls the governor's decision, quote, deeply disappointing and harmful. The organization says the new law violates multiple Missouri Supreme Court decisions. A Northeast Oklahoma woman pleads guilty in a fatal hit-and-run case. The crash happened in February 2022 in Miami, Oklahoma. Mindy McBrien of Fairland, Oklahoma, drove a vehicle that hit and killed Quang Jin Ye, a citizen of China who lived in Miami. McBrien entered a blind plea, meaning the sentence had not been determined. She's due back in court in August. No one is seriously hurt after a semi-truck crashed into the back of a school bus yesterday in Lawrence County, Missouri. The crash happened on Missouri 96 at about 7 a.m. The bus slowed to make a left turn and the semi moved to pass on the right but struck the bus. The impact spun the bus and slammed it into a rock bluff. Troopers say 2 children and a driver were on the bus at the time, and firefighters helped remove the semi-driver who was trapped in the cab. But again, no one was injured. The Ascension Hospital System yesterday announced it's investigating a possible cyber attack. Ascension, which owns Via Christi Hospital in Pittsburgh, says it detected an unusual activity on its network systems Wednesday. They say access to some systems, including clinical operations, have been interrupted. So far, they haven't noticed any patient information has been compromised. It's not clear if the Pittsburgh facility has been affected. Well, after months of dealing with a water shortage, the city of Caney, Kansas officially lifted its restrictions this week. With recent rains, the city's water reservoir full, allowing officials to take down the resolution for water conservation. More restrictions were lifted for the community and local businesses back in December. Last summer, the water shortage in the city was considered at the most critical level on the severity scale. As a result, residents could use water only for essential activities.
Hard to feel like you have permission to go ahead and use a lot of water after you've come through that still sticks in your mind. How close are we to having no water again?
Anytime something like that happens, a real life experience, it's very relevant to students and anyone who's in that, including the entire community. So I think it brings a good focus for us, for all of us, and just very proud about what we did to ensure that we did our part.
The city now works to avoid the reoccurring problem in the future. The goal is connecting a pipeline from Coffeyville to Caney's water tower. The project should cost almost $8 million and be done by the end of 2025. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes, coming up on the KOAM Morning News. TikTok has now started adding labels to AI content uploaded from other platforms. Plus, former President Donald Trump's Manhattan criminal trial gets back underway with continued testimony from a former White House staffer. And Chris Warner returns with another look at your Friday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back, but first, here's a live look from the Butterfly Garden in Cunningham Park in Joplin. Topping Nation Watch this morning, TikTok has now started adding labels to artificial intelligence content uploaded from other platforms. TikTok announced the new capability rolled out on images and videos yesterday. Then it will come to audio-only content soon. Excuse me. In order to label the content, TikTok will use content credentials technology to attach metadata that will let users know it's AI generated. This update is part of the social media app's broader push to fight against AI-driven misinformation. TikTok's announcement comes after other social media platforms aim to increase transparency of AI on their platforms. Nearly $53 million. That's how much the New York Police Department has spent in overtime cost covering protests this year. That's compared to about $7 million last year. And yesterday, officials from the department spoke about the huge increase in costs during a New York City Council meeting. Police say there have been nearly 3,000 protests in the city between the war between between Israel and Hamas began in October. Those demonstrations have been a large contributor to the increase in overtime. The chief of the NYPD says it's been a challenging few months. The FBI is watching to see if U.S. support for Ukraine will lead to the Russian government to take more risks in potentially interfering with the presidential election. Yesterday, a senior FBI official said they are concerned the war in Ukraine might be an animating event for the Russians. Officials are concerned Russia could be motivated to aggressively meddle in the election, since aid to Ukraine could be determined by who's in the White House. Democrats have largely backed President Biden's support for Ukraine, while some leading Republicans are increasingly against the foreign aid. A second senior FBI official also says Russia likely views the country's election infrastructure as legitimate targets for cyber espionage and data collection. The official says Russia can use its access to those networks as a way to undermine confidence in election integrity. Former President Donald Trump's Manhattan criminal trial gets back underway soon, with continued testimony from a former White House staffer. Yesterday, star prosecution witness Stormy Daniels pushed back on Trump's lawyers' attempts to paint her as motivated by money during a cross-examination. Prosecutors claim Trump falsified business records to hide a so-called hush money payment to Daniels to hide an alleged sexual encounter. Trump proclaimed his innocence outside the court yesterday and has denied the encounter. CBS News' Jared Hill has more from New York.
Former President Trump, frustrated leaving court Thursday, is due back today.
We are so innocent. There's never been anything like it.
His one-time White House aide, Madeleine Westerhout, returning to the stand. Westerhout testified Trump was FedExed checks to sign while he was in office. Her testimony follows a second day of tense cross-examination of adult film star Stormy Daniels. She was paid $130,000 by Trump's former fixer, Michael Cohen. According to the prosecution, that money meant to keep her quiet about an alleged sexual encounter with Trump before the 2016 election. Trump denies the encounter and pleaded not guilty to charges that he falsified business records to hide his reimbursement of the payment to Cohen. Trump's lawyer, Susan Nichols, aggressively challenged Daniels' credibility, at one point asking, "You wanted to make more money, right?" Daniels said no. That's why I did 60 Minutes for free.
You could have gotten paid a lot of money to go public in an
Without
interview.
a doubt, I know for a fact.
When Nichols asked if she'd made up the sexual encounter, Daniels responded, "If it was untrue, I would have written it a lot better."
The only thing that Stormy Daniels is relevant for is to say that she had a story and she got paid $130,000 for that story.
Trump again lashed out at Judge Juan Merchan yesterday after he denied Trump's lawyer's request to amend the gag order.
He's a corrupt judge and he's totally conflicted.
Their second motion for a mistrial also denied. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
Also yesterday, the judge told news photographers that they were no longer allowed to take pictures inside the courtroom. And that's a look at some of today's top national stories. Here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got a pretty decent day across the four-state Skywatch storm tracker is clear of any precipitation, and it will again continue to remain that way over the next couple of days. Live look from our camera, 7th and Range Line in Joplin. The sun is rising. The skies again are clear for now. It is a pretty cool start to the day, but it will warm up just a bit. We're going to be a couple of degrees cooler than yesterday, highs into the low to mid 70s, and we'll have variable clouds or mostly clear to partly cloudy skies as we go through the day. We'll have another complete look at your forecast, including next week's thunderstorm chances when the KOAM Morning News returns.
A bunch of bears have become a regular guest at a California homeowner's pool. They have a particular fondness for destroying the owner's pool floats, all caught on camera. As Jeannie Moose reports, it's all becoming a little unbearable.
It's a bear pool party in a people pool, but the owners don't bear a grudge.
Definitely the bears swim in the pool 3 to 5 times a week.
A mama bear they call Maddie and her 2 cubs are regular guests these days at the home of Ricky Martinez and Brian Gordon in the foothills of Los Angeles County.
They've killed unicorns, dinosaurs.
Like this inflatable unicorn, but after a young bear dragged it into the pool, well, this is how it ended. The bears have destroyed at least 5 or 6 floaties, not to mention the floating pool lights they've chewed up. They've lifted and licked the fryer, climbed the big tree. Maddie has used it as a back scratcher. When a delivery of patio furniture arrived, a bear tried to open it. When the guys first moved in a year and a half ago, they were a little nervous, but now
We love living with them.
the humans could feel like they're the ones being observed in a zoo, especially when the bears get right up against the glass.
You can see how long their claws are.
And then stand up like a person. The guests at this pool party have been known to not just play with the chlorinator, but to actually run away with it. To replace the slaughtered unicorns, the guys opted for a bear inflatable. And if the bears eat their own, well, the owners plan to just grin and bear it. Jeannie Moose, CNN.
We'll give him props if he makes it to next week.
New York.
Here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
We've got an absolutely beautiful day once again across the 4 states, but thunderstorms return next week. Well, now look at your forecast when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. We are repositioning our camera on the Cornell complex to show you this beautiful sunrise out there. Clear skies, a little bit on the cool side, but otherwise a textbook spring-like day once again for us. A nice break from all the storms we've had. MoDOT camera 32nd and range line looking fairly good as well, as is the MoDOT camera down in Neosho looking back toward the west. So we got Lusk Drive right here, and again you can see clear skies, and those aren't clouds, those are just power lines. KDOT camera south of Pittsburgh also showing us those clear skies. However, we'll have some variable clouds as we head into the afternoon. Another view of that sunrise from our camera 7th and range line in Joplin. It is 53 out there. The wind is currently calm. Temperatures around the region holding on into the 50s. Now Stockton, Iola getting a little close to the upper 40s, but otherwise for right now all of us in the 50s. We get our morning started. We are going to have to contend with some north winds, occasionally gusting upwards of, say, 20 to 25 miles an hour. And this is what variable cloudiness is it's mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. And we'll make it about 68 by 11 o'clock this morning. Heading for highs into the low 70s across the area. Again, those mostly clear to partly cloudy skies and still some gusty north winds to deal with. Heading into the evening, we will be mostly clear through the evening, mostly clear overnight, falling back into the 60s by 10 ahead of overnight lows going back into the low to mid 50s. Then we go into the weekend. As early as late Sunday evening, could start to see some scattered showers and thunderstorms, and then those will continue into our Monday, and we'll spend most of our Monday, you can see the low pressure system out here, with this wave bringing in showers and thunderstorms throughout the majority of our Monday. Now again, I just want to emphasize this, which is some good news, at least at this point, is unlike the last couple of significant severe weather events we've had, nothing on the long-range data is screaming severe weather. The last couple of events we had, we saw the severe weather outlooks several days in advance because the computer data just said it's going to get nasty. That's not the case this time, but we are still in severe weather season. We still want to keep an eye on these storms. By Tuesday, a few isolated to widely scattered showers and storms. I think most of us will remain dry on Tuesday. Tuesday. Wednesday, isolated to scattered showers and storms out there. Again, I think most of us will remain relatively dry at this point. Then we go late Wednesday into our Thursday, more showers and thunderstorms. They'll still be scattered, but we'll have slightly better chances as we head into our Thursday. And then as we go into Friday morning, we'll begin to clear out. Warming up, heading into the weekend, upper 70s. Nice weather in time for Mother's Day. Mostly cloudy skies on Sunday, and then storms should hold off until the late evening hours. A little cooler on Monday, low 70s. Then we'll go back into the upper 70s and low 80s. Got those shower and thunderstorm chances Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Looking pretty good next Friday and Saturday. That is a check of your forecast. Now here's Elise with Health Watch.
Thanks, Chris. Well, doctors in China say they've made a breakthrough in using immunotherapy to battle blood cancer. A study found targeting a specific protein boosts immune cells' abilities to fight tumors. While the study was done on mice, scientists hope it could lead to new treatments using the body's own immune system to fight cancers. Researchers say they can predict which kids will naturally outgrow their peanut allergies and which won't. An Australian study discovered blood tests can show changes in the level of 2 antibodies, and those changes can identify which children will likely outgrow their allergy without clinical intervention. 2/3 of children with peanut allergies outgrow them by age 10. And working a night shift schedule can throw off your body and make you more prone to disease. A new study by Washington State University found after only 3 days on a night shift, study participants had changes to their blood sugar regulation and metabolism. That stress on the system makes night shift workers more prone to diabetes, obesity, and other metabolic disorders. Now to look at some of today's top health stories, we'll be right back.
In the heart of
Right now at 6:30, some clients from the Lafayette House in Joplin get an upgrade to their wardrobe.
We've got a beautiful start to the day across the 4 states. Clear skies as the sun rises, and it's going to be another nice textbook spring-like day. We'll have a look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, students in Carthage go back to kindergarten to dig up a time capsule they buried more than a decade ago.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:30. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. It's Friday.
Finally Friday. I like the way you said that, Chris.
That is finally Friday. Man, it's been a long couple of weeks. I feel like this is the first Friday in the last 2 weeks because we don't have any severe weather tonight heading into the weekend. It's nice, finally calmed down. Weekend. It's about time. We need an opportunity to clean up, assess, and recover a bit from the flooding too, because we've needed the rain, but too much and too little at times has been causing its own problems out there. Absolutely. So the good news is we're going to continue to remain relatively calm, at least for the majority of our weekend, but we also want to get you started on this Friday. So let's start with a look outside from the MoDOT camera, 32nd and Range Line in Joplin. The skies are clear. Looking pretty good so far. Temperatures across the region also pretty good. We're all still in the 50s. So we go low mid 50s and still some upper 50s out there. So a bit of a cool start for some of us this morning, but otherwise not bad. As kids get on the bus, we're looking at about 53 mostly clear skies. North breeze around 5 to 10 miles an hour when that bus brings them home. Still mostly clear, maybe partly cloudy in some areas. Breezy though, 73, north winds 10 to 15, occasionally gusting upwards of 25 miles an hour. And that's the one thing we're going to have to trade off for today is another round of potentially gusty winds. Again, it'll be occasional, but nonetheless, north winds gusting 20, 25 miles an hour. We will have what the technical term is variable clouds, but it's just that combination of mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. And we're looking at highs maybe a degree or two cooler than yesterday's. We go low 70s, maybe some mid 70s out there. So textbook spring-like day. Temperatures right about where they're supposed to be. Thunderstorm chances, though, do return to our forecast as early as Sunday night, and we will look at all those details in the full forecast here a little later. Elise?
Thanks, Chris. The Miami School District yesterday announced its new interim superintendent. It's a familiar face for students, Kenny Iverson. She's previously served as assistant superintendent and has decades of experience in education. The district says it officially begins the search for a permanent superintendent on July 1st. LifeWork Talent Consulting hosted their Women's Forum yesterday at the Cornell Complex in Joplin. The forum is an event where women can learn about leadership development. Organizers of the event say the forum is designed to challenge, inspire, and grow influential female leaders in the civic, business, and nonprofit arenas.
We help organizations with healthy cultures, strong people practices, building strong leadership and teams. So what we can do for organizations is come in, help them assess their people challenges, and then create a healthier organization.
The forum included 60 hand-selected female leaders from organizations across the region, including Kansas City and Northwest Arkansas. Victims of domestic abuse and sexual assault were given a boost of confidence yesterday. Clients of the Lafayette House in Joplin got a chance to update their wardrobe. KOAM's Amber Jenkins has more.
The Heart of the Cabbies Foundation Love Local event is updating the wardrobes of 40 clients from the Lafayette House in Joplin. More than 400 items of clothing for clients to choose from, free of charge.
All of the items that the ladies will be taking home with them today are all from the Cabby line, and so they're getting paired with a Cabby stylist to get a brand new wardrobe of items that they're able to wear to court or a job interview or just out in their daily lives, so they feel good about the items that are in their closet.
This is the second year the Cabbies Foundation has chosen to donate to the Lafayette House clients for their impact on local domestic abuse victims.
A year ago, we started our Love Local event, which we can apply for, and this is now our second time that we have been able to do it for the Lafayette House.
So some of our clients last year, when they left, they just were beaming, and then we would see them wear their Cabby outfits after they came to the event, and it was so great. So we were really excited to be able to offer this for them again this year.
Clients receive new Cabby outfits along with some accessories.
We have put together just another little extra love kit. We have a Cabby scarf in there. We have some Cabby jewelry, toothpaste and toothbrushes, and we have makeup wipes. So just a little extras just to love on them and the ladies to take home for Mother's Day.
The Cabby stylist goal is making the clients look and feel their best despite their past.
You know, everyone says, oh, it's so awesome what you're doing for these women, but the amazing thing is it's blessing us too.
Reporting in Joplin, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
This is the second time the Love Local event was held in Joplin. Carthage High School seniors got to take a trip back in time. The graduating class took part in the annual Walk the Halls through Mark Twain Elementary, where they got some serious high fives from the kindergarten class. The seniors also unearthed the time capsule they put in the ground when they attended Mark Twain as kindergartners. The occasion provided some perspective for one senior.
Like, you don't really believe it, but then when you're here going through your elementary school, you're like, it really does. And it's just sad because you came in here when you're a little kindergarten and you're like, these halls are insanely huge, and then you come back and you're like, these aren't that big, I've just grown up.
The seniors were reunited with a special item they placed in the time capsule as a kindergartner. Well, some Joplin residents put a rubber to the road for a chill Thursday bike ride. Bearded Lady Roasters hosted the 5-mile journey, taking advantage of the calm weather. Participants could get some coffee before biking with friends or making some new ones.
My hope is just that you take away a friend, that you get to meet somebody, get to hang out, get to learn something about either bicycling, the culture, Joplin, get to learn a new favorite street. Yeah, I hope the takeaway is just some more friends.
The ride went from Bearded Lady to Chaos Brewing Company. A farm in Missouri that breeds Budweiser Clydesdales has welcomed 15 new foals this year. Warm Springs Ranch in Boonville is home to more than 70 Clydesdales. The ranch says the public's first opportunity to see the foals will be at an event this weekend. When Clydesdales are born, they're about 3 feet tall and weigh roughly 150 pounds. As an adult, they're usually about 6 feet tall and weigh around 2,000 pounds. They eat up to 20 quarts of grain, 50 pounds of hay, and drink up to 35 gallons of water every day. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. If it's Friday, you know what that means. We've got Shannon Becker live in studio to help us close out the week with his big 3 news stories. And we have a sunny and mild day today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. But first, here's a live look from the Butterfly Garden in Cunningham Park in Joplin. Welcome back. We've got Shannon Becker in the studio with his big 3 news stories of the week. Good morning to you. Thank you for being with us.
Oh, no problem.
Yes.
I got to get set on this new set here. I mean, this is fancy stuff.
Yeah, it's nice and soft.
Where'd you get this?
I don't know, just,
It's just
junkyard.
Just one of those things you got in the closet. Let's take a look at the big 3 stories this week. KOAM News Now. I'm Shannon Becker. What's live and local happening where you live? A bizarre story over the weekend. Near Asbury, a car crashed between 2 trains. I kind of explain how this happened. This Cadillac passenger car was driving. It's a crossbuck with no lights, anything like that.
Yes.
It's just a crossbuck. Struck a slow-moving train that was going one direction. And then as it was stuck there, the train was stopped. Another train came by and sandwiched it between the two is really what happened.
Yes.
The driver had already exited and ran off a little bit, so he was not injured necessarily in this, but he was taken to jail for DWI.
Okay.
So I mean, something like that is nothing that you'll fall into yourself probably under normal circumstances. So
yes.
Our number 2 story, Joplin News First, yesterday morning, live. It was in just near Halltown, about 3 miles west of Halltown. A school bus from Miller was rear-ended by a tractor trailer. It was just a bizarre scene. The amazing thing about it, Missouri State Highway Patrol troopers on scene told us, they said that has to be the safest bus of all time because 2 kids on the bus, they remained in the same seat as the bus was slammed from the rear end and spun 180 degrees into a cliff. Kids were not injured.
Look at that, yes.
Bus driver not injured.
No injuries. That's
Tractor trailer driver
yes.
was trapped for a short time, then freed, and he was not injured as well.
Wow.
But it was very bizarre.
Absolutely.
Very bizarre, but good, a great story ending. And then our number 1 story, we've been talking about it all week. I heard you guys earlier. This weather, it's kind of wore you out, hasn't it?
Yes.
Officer Anthony Mosley of the Carterville Police Department, he actually captured the EF1 tornado. The tornado actually on Monday night started around Main Street, Indiana, excuse me.
Yes.
Indiana, like 30th and Indiana is kind of where it started. Went across Joplin, is a nearly 5-mile path. This is as it was crossing over 249. He was able to alert his city along with the Carterville Fire Department, so it was a really, really cool video there.
Absolutely.
And then our bonus story, speaking of cool, Nate from the morning show, Tennyson, who's one of our producers, and Abby, they submitted our video on Tuesday morning to CBS, and CBS played it on the national show.
Yes, everyone in the control room when it was happening was almost freaking out just to see, Joplin up there on the CBS Morning News. So, I mean, congratulations to you, Shannon, as well, getting your footage on there.
Well, of course, Anthony Mosley, the officer's clip, and then my friend Ashley, she took the Lowe's clip, and then I was at Planet Fitness. So that was just really, really cool. I don't know. We don't get any recognition for that, but just, I guess professionally, it's really cool. I was like, oh, did Gayle King introduce it? And then I was like, oh, it was Natalie Morales.
I would have liked it if it was Tony.
Oh, yeah. Mine. You like They're super. They're awesome.
Yes, they are.
That's your bonus story of the week, KOAM News Now.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for being with us this morning, Shannon. Stick around. We're back with more weather and news after this.
All right, time for some Friday birthdays here in the 4 states. We're beginning in Quapaw with Champ Ryan celebrating birthday number 2. Happy birthday.
And over in Pittsburgh, a happy 4th birthday to Cooper Pulliam.
And in Pittsburgh, Eli Vasquez celebrating birthday number 7 says happy birthday, son.
And a happy birthday to Keely and Kinsley Cook, or as it says here, thing 1 and thing 2. Keely is thing 1 and Kinsley is thing 2. From Carthage, they're celebrating their 7th birthday.
And in Miami, Hayden Sloan celebrating birthday number 14. Happy birthday, Hayden.
And a happy 17th birthday to Kylie Pierce from Altoona, Kansas.
And in Miami as well, Mallory Haley celebrating birthday number 17. Happy birthday to you.
And also in Miami, celebrating their 17th birthday is Parker Berry. Says, love Mom, Dad, and Dakota.
And Dalton Meisner celebrating birthday number 23 in Chanute. Happy birthday, Dalton.
Happy birthday to Tina Bressler, who's turning 50 today from Rocky Comfort, Missouri.
And Denise Veneman, the lady in the orange shirt there, celebrating birthday number 70 in Afton. Happy birthday.
And a happy birthday to Audrey Combs from Columbus.
And Beverly Murdoch, also in Columbus, celebrating another year wiser. Happy birthday, Beverly.
And a happy birthday to Kendra Clements from Carthage.
And the party in the bus, Lindsay Morris celebrating a birthday today. Happy birthday, Lindsay.
And a happy birthday to our KOAM morning show producer, Tennyson Williams.
Tennyson! Boy, Tennyson has had a lot of fun, I think, since he started here on the morning show with us. Hopefully he is. We thoroughly enjoy him, does a fantastic job taking care of us, as do all of the people behind the scenes.
Certainly.
As we've mentioned, without them, we wouldn't be on the air. So,
yeah.
Very happy birthday to you, Tennyson. Our list does continue, by the way, with Lorna Stover also in, I'm telling you, the party is in the bus.
It is.
Lorna Stover, happy birthday.
And happy birthday to Tyrone Kendrick from Parsons.
Katie Cobb celebrating another year wiser. Happy birthday, Katie.
And also in Columbus,
Hey, I told ya.
Wayne Beggs. Happy birthday, Wayne.
And Mike and Bertie Ward celebrating their 21st anniversary. Happy anniversary to the Ward family.
And last but not least, Raymond Houston celebrating their Sweet 16 from Webb City.
All right, another fantastic list of birthdays and anniversaries. Now, they're always longest before the weekend. We want them to be this long all the time.
Yes, we do.
So if you want to celebrate with us, Elise, where do they send these things to?
Go ahead and submit your birthdays and anniversaries to birthdays@KOAMnewsnow.com. Be sure to include all of those wonderful photos and birthday messages, and to meet the deadline at the bottom of your screen.
All right, and of course, make sure you do meet that deadline. That way you know your birthday or anniversary, or both if you're submitting both, air at the appropriate time. Let's start with a look outside. This is our camera on top of the Cornell Complex downtown Joplin. Looking pretty good so far as the sun rises. We got clear skies. MoDOT camera, 32nd in range line. See, we're showing you all these views so you can see just how fantastic the day already is, which is a sign of how fantastic the day is going to become. And this is not in the right spot, and I apologize for that. When Shannon's here, it throws me off, and I don't have this in the right spot. There we go. MoDOT camera, US 60, Missouri 59, looking back toward the west. Also, fantastic view. And look at the sunshine back over there. More sunshine in Kansas from the KDOT camera on 69. Our camera, 7th in range line, looking at the sun as well. Looks fantastic. 53 in Joplin, a little bit on the cool side, but again, it's not bad. Could be a lot worse. During the winter, it got pretty bad. It got pretty cold. We are all still sitting in the 50s out there this morning, so not a bad start to the day. We've got low mid 50s and still some upper 50s here and there. We're going to be about a degree or two cooler than yesterday, so not a significant difference, but a little cooler. We're also going to be partly or mostly clear to partly cloudy, and we're going to have to contend with a north breeze that'll be occasionally gusting upwards of 20 to 25 miles an hour. It'll be 68 by 11 o'clock this morning. Into the afternoon, again, variable clouds. That's the word you'll see. That's the official term, but it'll be mostly clear to partly cloudy through the day. We're going to make it into the low 70s out there, maybe a couple of mid 70s as well. Heading into the evening, again, mostly clear skies, mostly clear overnight, falling back into the 60s. By 10 o'clock, overnight lows into the low to mid 50s. Then we've got those thunderstorm chances returning as early as late Sunday evening. So Mother's Day, if you're doing something during the day, you should be fine. But if you're for some reason taking mom out late at night, Sunday night, it might be raining by the time you do that. And those thunderstorms will continue overnight and into our Monday. We'll have thunderstorms throughout the day Monday, and then by late evening and into the early overnight hours, those thunderstorms will begin to clear out a bit. Now, the good news is, as we've discussed this morning, none of the long-range data is screaming severe weather at this point. The last few events we've had, several days out, model data was saying severe weather was coming. That's not the case here, but we are still in severe weather season, so we'll want to watch the storms, but nothing is shouting major event or anything like that at this point. And we'll still have a few isolated, widely scattered showers on Tuesday. I think most of us will be dry throughout the day Tuesday. Another round of isolated to scattered showers and storms for our Wednesday, and then they'll increase in coverage overnight and continue into our Thursday, and they'll continue through most of our Thursday. They'll be scattered, so we're expecting pauses between the storms, but then they'll clear out as we head into Friday morning out there. So we've got those thunderstorm chances. Again, nothing screaming severe weather at this point, but we'll still, of course, keep an eye on those thunderstorms for you. We'll have another look at your extended forecast, plus the news you need to know here in just a moment. And when we make the switch to Fox 14 at 7 a.m., Mother's Day is this weekend. I'm going to show you some of the best ways you can celebrate your mother.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Some Southwest Missouri residents have to deal with the mess left by the tornado that struck Wednesday afternoon. Fire crews and Liberty Utilities worked through the night to clear roads and restore power. Residents spent the day cleaning up storm debris. No injuries have been reported. The city of Caney, Kansas officially lifted its restrictions on water consumption this week. Last summer, the water shortage in the city was considered at the most critical level on the severity scale. The city is now working to avoid the reoccurring problem in the future. The goal is to connect a pipeline from Coffeyville to Caney's water tower. The Ascension Hospital System yesterday announced it's investigating a possible cyber attack. Ascension, which owns Via Christi Hospital in Pittsburgh, says it detected unusual activity on its network systems Wednesday. They say access to some systems have been interrupted, and so far they haven't noticed any patient information being compromised. It's not clear if the Pittsburgh facility has been affected. That's a look at some of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
And we've got ourselves a relatively pleasant day. We're looking to be in the low 70s across the area. Mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. North wind occasionally gusting upwards of 20 to 25 miles an hour. Mostly clear through the evening. Low 60s by 10. Overnight lows tonight back in the low to mid 50s under mostly clear skies. Warming up heading into Mother's Day weekend. Upper 70s. Great looking Saturday. Sunday, mostly cloudy skies and then some late evening showers and storms. Those continue into Monday. Scattered storm chances continue through next Thursday. And we'll get a break in the rain next Friday and Saturday. And aside from Monday next week looks to be pretty warm. Upper 70s and low 80s.
Alrighty, thanks, Chris. Coming up today at noon, we're making fruity pancake muffins in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. Coming up next, accusations of bullying and harassment in the Miss Universe organization after Miss USA and Miss Teen USA resign. Hear why one pageant participant says it's important the women are able to speak out.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, we'll hear how some students are now pushing back against anti-Israel protests.
And Shannon Becker back in the studio to share the big three news stories of the week. But that is going to wrap it up for us for now. We will be back here Monday morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you today at noon.